This is actually take 2. I deleted the first one because I only got about 3 sentences in and my phone was like, So, a breath to welcome you in. If you are watching this, you have a resonance with this idea that humans have superpowers. And while we are not yet at the, being able to take our physical body and fly, unless we have, I don't know, an airplane or a jetpack or something, our consciousness can travel around the cosmos. I do that with my groups and my clients all of the time. But I think that we have more superpowers on the way as we are activating our consciousness to remember so much of who we are. But I think, and I would love your opinion on this, so let me know whether you're live or on the replay if you agree or disagree with this characterization. Because maybe I'm overstating it. Maybe. I really think that alchemy is our greatest superpower. What is alchemy? You might think of it as those old fools back in the Middle Ages who are trying to chemically change the composition of lead into gold. When I'm speaking of alchemy, like, that would be cool. That would probably be the greatest superpower ever. But I'm talking about divine alchemy, energy alchemy, evolutionary alchemy. I've called it joyful alchemy in the past. And it is our capacity as humans to be able to take the crap that life throws at us and take it and not let it take us out, or maybe it'll take us out for a minute or two, but then for us to be able to transmute the experience, which typically is very dense, right? Like, that's what lead is. It's very dense. It's very heavy. It feels not good. These experiences, they feel not good in our nervous system. They feel not good in our beingness. They are typically not things we would consciously have chosen. But the magic, our greatest superpower as humans currently, before we can teleport and do all that fun stuff, is to be able to take the energy that feels so dense and heavy and to extract the wisdom, to extract the lessons that our soul requires to evolve, and then use that as this like rocket fuel to go to the next level, right? It's like turning your shit into gold, or the actual poop into manure, which then turns to compost, which then allows things to grow. So I do this personally all of the time. It's been something that I have learned, and I'm going to tell you the origin point of this story. And maybe I'm dating myself. I am turning 40 in a couple weeks here. But when I was a kid, The Simpsons were something that I watched after school at 4 p.m. all of the time. And Homer, bumbling Bart and Lisa and Maggie's dad, nuclear power technician, Homer would actually share some wisdom that changed probably, I don't know if it changed the course of my life. It probably just anchored in a truth that I really already knew. He explained that the word crisis in, I can't remember if it was Mandarin or Cantonese, but he said Chinese, meant both crisis and opportunity. And he called it a crisitunity. And I was like, oh, because I had already had a lot of crap happen in my life when I was watching that Simpsons episode. And I don't know, I was maybe like 10, 11 years old. And I was like, an opportunity out of a crisis. And it sparked this remembrance inside of me where I was just like, I like this. I feel like I could use this. And it helped me put on these glasses where I was looking at everything that happened to me as an opportunity, even if it felt like it was a crisis. It was like the worst stuff. I'd be like, where's the opportunity in this? So Homer Simpson really lent me that important way of looking at things that I then trained and practiced for, the rest of my life up until now. The ability to go, what is the silver lining in this situation that seems so dire, so awful? The situation that I would have not chosen. I don't want this to occur and it really, really sucks. But what's the opportunity here? So Homer Simpson telling me this in my formative years helped me wear these glasses where I was looking for the silver lining. In fact, I think I even had some of those glasses. Like, I don't know if they were polarized glasses or something, but there are sunglasses that I have owned that when you'd wear them, you would actually be able to look at a cloud and you'd like see the silver lining, and I'd be like, oh, this is the energy I want more of, where it's the perception that we are holding, which is based on our belief system and our thoughts and how we're feeling and our nervous system regulation. But we could think of that perception as being glasses, lenses that we can look at the world through. And I'll be honest, in astrology, my Mercury, which is that lensing of perception and communication, it's in Sagittarius. So this shouldn't surprise anyone who knows anything about astrology. But Sagittarius is, we tend to go, my son and I have a whole stellium in Sagittarius, we're like, ooh, what's the lesson here? What can we learn? And we get really excited about extracting truth from things. But it also is what makes us great teachers, right? And when something is happening that seems like it is not ideal, it is not, we wouldn't choose it, like I said, but I go, what opportunity is there here? And because I have practiced wearing these glasses for my entire life, I'm actually really good at spotting it. And I'm not even only able to spot it in hindsight. Because we're all really good at that, right? Like, you have a bad situation, 20 years later, you can look back and go, well, you know, if I hadn't broken up with my first boyfriend, which was so horrible, I wouldn't have met my partner, you know, that I traveled the world with and stuff like that. We can usually extract the good part in hindsight. But I think there is a superpower and potential in being able to wear this lensing of extracting the opportunity in the crisis, the crisopportunity, like Homer would say, in the moment, right? And I'm not talking about spiritually bypassing it. We still have to feel the feelings, right? And that's part of the alchemy. We have to feel the feelings of the situation that sucks. I cry. I will call my friends and be like, oh my God, this is happening and I know it's in my highest and best good, but it doesn't feel good right now and I don't like it. I will get my husband to tell me that it's okay to feel the feelings, because sometimes I'll try to bypass it. That's one of my superpowers, is I can like just be like, oh, I know where we're headed, so it's all fine and good. I have learned to alchemize all of it, all of the realms, right? We have to feel the feelings of that unideal situation and actually feel them, not just think about them, and then let the energy flow through us. Because if we don't feel the feelings, they get stuck inside of us. The alchemy is actually transmuting it fully by connecting with the feelings and actually feeling them, letting them go through our bodies, and then having the spaciousness to be able to see things clearly, right? And in that spaciousness, after having discharged the energy, we can go, all right, what is the opportunity here? What can we extract in terms of the lesson, the wisdom, the nutrition? How can we turn the shit into gold, right? How can we turn this mistake into a really interesting new dance move that's so creative and out of the box that we never would have thought of it if we hadn't made the mistake in the first place, right? This alchemy is where we're able to really turn that lead, the density, the heaviness, into gold, into that rocket fuel to take us to where we want to go, into the fertilizer that helps us grow the magical forest I was speaking of in my last live. We're going to be going deeper. Oh, hi, Shamina. We're going to be going deeper into this conversation about transmutation in the Divine Alchemy masterclass. That is going to be I'm not going to lie, it's more of a mastery level conversation, intermediate to mastery level. If you have not done any shadow work, any healing, this conversation is not one that you probably want to wade into. You will hate me. I'm not joking, because it does assume that you are ready to take a certain level of personal responsibility for not the circumstances, like you're not responsible for that, for your reaction, for your response to them, right? This is really diving into our superpower as humans, to be energy alchemists, to take the stuff that has sucked and to work with it. And a lot of times that means healing, moving energy, feeling feelings, doing uncomfortable things, right? That shadow work I'm talking about, or energy work, like actually feeling the feelings. All of those things allow us to activate that superpower of being able to take out the wisdom, to be able to use this as the lessons and the pressure and the intensity that actually helps us grow, right? Helps us to shine, helps us to be our full expression. Because it's kind of like the energy of, if you've seen, say, somebody who, we could use the word, has been born with a silver spoon in their mouth and has never really had to overcome any challenges. You know how there's a vibe there, and it does not feel like a vibe of strength and capacity to do whatever they want. It's like they don't have that activation of sovereignty and power that you can see with people who have been through it. They've been through the fires of hell in this lifetime. They have had so much, more than most humans can bear, or more than is fair, certainly, right? Like, it's not fair. None of this is fair. But they have taken that and they have worked with it. They have allowed the energy to be transmuted, to be alchemized, and then that is the catalyst for their hero's journey, for their healing, so that they can step into their full expression and their full power as a creator being. And they go, I can't control what happened to me, but I can control my response to it. And I'm going to make this better. I'm going to be better instead of let it collapse me into a helpless pile of nothingness, right? Those are the people that go on to be motivational speakers, right? Who say, cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me. Or like a dear friend of mine, she had a concussion and she allowed that concussion to alchemize and transmute her entire life. It's the story of the addicts who got clean and then went on to achieve great things. The story of the people who lost it all. And in that emptiness, they built it back up again, so much greater than they ever could have had they not hit that rock bottom, gone bankrupt, lost everything, right? The hero's journey, you see it time and time again. And these people have this superpower of alchemy, of being able to transmute the energy into something full of possibility, right? I think this is one of our superpowers. So let me know, again, in the comments, even if you're on the replay, would you agree? Now, you could also say that love is a superpower, right? I think when we do this alchemy, what we're doing is we're making space for love, and we're doing it with love, because we deserve the healing and the transmutation. So I'm not leaving the love out of it. But what this alchemy also does, I find, when we do the healing portion of it, where we actually take what feels dense and release it, dissolve it, transmute it into light, is that it creates this spaciousness in us. And in that spaciousness, we get to tap into divine flow, which is where the possibility lies. So in day 1 of the masterclass, we're talking more about the alchemy, the energy healing, the transmutation. But then we go deeper into the what is possible then, right? When we are able to create space in our body, our mind, our heart, our soul, our nervous system, our energy field, and our lives, by removing, dissolving, transforming that density, the stuff that feels really making us tight and small, we have then the capacity to tap into the flow of infinite abundance, of our soul, of spirit, of source. Like, there's all of this possibility that comes from the spaciousness. And I've had this conversation before about the contraction energy versus the expansion energy. And it is related to all of our creation power as well. So when we do this alchemy, it's so that we can fully step into our power as creator beings, and we can work with the circumstances that life has given us and do this beautiful flow and dance with it instead of letting it take us out, right? We can't control the circumstances, but we can move with the storms, with the flow. And it might take us somewhere that we're not expecting, right? Because there's also this dance, an element of surrender into the co-creation, right? Surrender of our trying to control the circumstances, and surrender to a greater flow, right? So we're talking about flow state on day 2. And flow state is something that I have mastery in, both as an expression of movement in dance and flow arts. I was actually, if you don't know, as a professional hula hooper and flow artist and teacher, and I have been working in that sphere for, 13 years, I think. So I've taught people how to find their flow in movement, but also now with the work that I do in my courses and my mentorship, I really have supported people in finding their energetic flow, right? So they can flow with what is in terms of reality and create with it instead of against it in resistance. And then that's where the magic happens. And on day 3, we talk about the potential of what happens when you have that space and that flow, and what you can create with your embodiment of your unique soul frequencies, right? It's going to be a beautiful conversation in layers with activations and a lot of codes being dropped. So if you are interested in coming to experience this conversation, the activations, we're going to be pulling through a little bit of the energy alchemy that I support people with, and unplugging from the things that are not them and connecting in with their own divine flow, body, mind, heart, and soul. We'll do that. We're going to have prizes. I love to give things away. Leading with generosity is one of my favorite things to do. So you can hop in to the Divine Alchemy masterclass if you're not there already. And then there is a a featured post that explains how you can win a prize pack with lots of beautiful prizes, sessions, bundles of courses and things like that. And we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to have a few special guests. There's going to be all kinds of magic and opportunities for connection, because I am programming a beautiful resonance field inside of this pop-up community where I'm calling in people who get it, who are ready to take it to the next level, who are ready to have this conversation about possibility. And I'll leave you with this. First off, join us. If you can't make it live, hey, I work in the 0 point, so no problem. The replays will be available for at least a week. And secondly, I'll talk more about this in the masterclass, but you cannot make this stuff up about divine timing. So I know another Casey Vollard from As She Rises. We run in the same communities. I've been in a mastermind of hers. She's absolutely wonderful. I've noticed really similar things that we do. I'm Casey, she's Casey. And no word of a lie, right before I popped on here, I saw she's promoting her own 3-day masterclass called The Alchemy Method, the exact same days and almost the same times. And I'm just like, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. I'm like, Casey, what are we doing? We are pulling through the same divine alchemy threads right now. And this is important because the last time I went live about this, I said the world was not ready for this conversation. But we are now. We are now, right? We're ready to step into this next level of our power as alchemists, as people who are able to take the shit that happens to us and turn it into gold. And maybe you're watching this and you're like, I already do that. I already do that. This is not new for me. I'm a healer. Yes. And you do it maybe after the fact. Let's amplify your ability to alchemize in the moment. Imagine that. Amplifying your ability to alchemize in the moment so you can stay in flow and not be taken out. I mean, do you want some of that? It's magical. I have been accused in my life of living in some kind of alternate dimension full of rainbows and dragons and unicorns. And I'm like, correct. But I also live in this one. I am able to walk between these worlds. And I'm able to support people in also doing the same, right? The world that I exist in is magical. We do magic things all the time. Healings, clearings, activations, connecting with the infinite cosmic consciousness, and so many other places and spaces of pure potent possibility. And people are ready to do more of this magic. So I hope you can join me. The link is above or below or wherever you're watching, and is going to be so much fun. So if you've hung out this far, I hope I'll see you in there. And I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Patricia's like, yes, yes. I'll see you in there tomorrow at 11. Remember, the replays are available.